Pete'sTools.com.
So what are we up to today, guys? Well, today I'm going to follow the instructions to the letter. I'm going to set up my welder according to the instructions that come with it, and we're going to try and weld some really thick metal, 7mm plate, and we'll see if we can actually weld it just from the instructions given with the machine. What do you reckon, guys? Yeehaw! Ideal for newbie welders who don't know much about setting up these machines. I'll show you how easy it is. Well, I think it'll work. Let's have a go, eh? Same as usual, guys. If you like my videos, subscribe, drop me a like, drop me a comment, come say good day at Pete'sTools.com, and let's do some welding, guys. I don't know if you guys are anything like me. I don't really like reading instructions. Last thing I want to do is thumb through a manual, try and get my welder going. I like to get my stuff in the workshop and just get into it and start welding and see what I can do. But anyway, guys, let's do this little experiment here. So guys, let's say I've never welded with this machine before. We've got here just a little chart, tells us how to set up our welding for the first time. So let's see if it works, eh? So I'm wanting to weld 7mm plate, guys, so let's have a look. Right guys, so our wire type here is Flux core. Our drive roller is V-groove, which is what comes standard in the machine anyway. Our polarity is electrode negative here. So the electrode in this case, guys, is the wire that comes out of the torch. So what it's telling us here is that we will need that to be on negative. So on the earth clamp it has to be positive, and this has to be negative. And that's easy enough to fix on the front of the machine. Shielding gas NA doesn't apply. Gas flow rate doesn't apply because we're using flux core wire. Right, now if we got like 8mm, it tells us here the wire speed and the voltage. So what we're looking at is about 7mm, 0.28 of an inch. So that's quite thick, guys. So we're down here, so it's telling us that the voltage is about 22 volts at 160 amps. So if I set it to 22 volts at 160 amps, do you think I'll be able to weld 7mm plate? Only one way to find out. So the instructions said that we need electrode negative, guys, so that means this is our electrode plug here, this one goes to the torch. So we want it in the negative side, and the positive side goes to our earth clamp here, guys. So that's really easy to do, eh? If you don't have the settings on the front of the machine, it will be in the side of your machine here. You can just chop and change them. And if you don't have it at all, that means your machine can only do flux core or gas welding. You don't have the option between the two. Right, guys, once again, 22 volts, about 160 amps. So let's do that. So we've got our voltage here, guys. So we need it at about 22 volts according to our instructions. 20, 21, 22 volts at 160 amps. We've got our wire set to 8mm, 0.35 of an inch. We've got it set to MIG. According to the instructions, that should now weld 7mm plate. Let's give it a go. Right, guys, put our earth on. Right, 7mm plate. Okay, guys, no more, no less than the instructions given on the machine. Will it work? What do we end up with? So guys, I think I missed the start of it there. I think it might have been the angle I was on, but let's clean it up and have a look at it, see what we come up with. Now bear in mind, this is just the instructions that come with the machine. There's no tinkering with it, it's just as it comes. Now I reckon that's not too bad actually, guys. If you ever look here, this is the angle I was holding the torch, so I actually missed it. As you see here, when I'm starting to get used to it, it's actually starting to weld here. And this is where I come off again here. So from the instructions that are given on the machine, I don't think that's too bad at all actually. And I'm looking at it from the view of someone setting the machine up for the first time ever. That's not too bad. So let's see if I can get that first bit any better, guys. Exactly the same settings again. What do we look like this time? Any better? Yeah, now we're cooking with gas, guys. Now that's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but if you're a first time welder and you set your machine up with these settings and you could weld 7mm plate, I think you'd be quite pleased with yourself. So that just shows you guys, if you follow the instructions on the side of your machine or the back of your machine or wherever it is, you can actually weld like 7mm steel with a cheap gasless MIG welder like this. So that's pretty awesome, eh? A machine like this would be really good if you didn't know how to set it up and you were new to welding, especially new to flux core welding or gasless welding. It can get you up and going in no time at all. And if I was to do that on the second or third attempt, I'd be pretty chuffed with myself. Anyway guys, same as usual, like my videos, subscribe, drop me a like, drop me a comment, come say good day in the comments below. See you next time. Bye.
Pete'sTools.com